Hello dear students, how are you all? So I TAUSIF Ahmed welcome you once again, and today we are going to study tenses and conditional. This is a very important topic for your JC examination or any other examination as well, because tense and conditional is a very basic chapter that you must study in order to learn English efficiently. So today we'll solve some good questions, some very important questions of tense and conditional. Okay, so I want you to share the session so that more students may join it. Just give me 5 seconds, let other students come, and then we'll start. So in today's class we are going to study tense and conditionals. Okay, tense and conditionals. This is a practice session, so today I won't teach you any theory part. We'll just solve questions, and I'll tell you the solutions of those questions conceptually. So if you haven't studied tense or conditional up till now, this class is going to be very helpful, and today we are going to solve some good questions also, right? So let's start. So here we have our first question. Had they worked hard, I had allowed them to go home for a day. Okay, so the first question is, had they worked hard, I had allowed them to go for a day. So this is our first question. Solve it and I'll tell you the solution with full concept. Okay, had they worked hard, I had allowed them to go home for a day. What is the error in this sentence? From tomorrow I'll start placing a timer here, and we'll try to solve every question in just 10 seconds. Okay, so in this sentence, what is the error? See, this part is called the if clause. Okay, listen to me carefully. This part is called the if clause. Now you must be thinking that this part doesn't even have an if. So how can we say this is an if clause? So this is the inverted version of if clause. We can write this clause like if they had worked hard. So we can write this clause in the either way. You can write this way or this way. This is called the inverted version. Inverted version. In what we do in inverted version? In inverted version, we remove the conjunction if and place the helping verb before subject. So this is called the inverted version. So both the clauses, this one and this one, have the same meaning. This is just the form. Okay, this is the normal structure and this is the inverted structure. So this is if clause, right? Now as we can see, the if clause is in past perfect tense. If clause is in past perfect tense. So this is type 4 conditional. In type 4 conditional, if clause is past perfect. If clause is past perfect in type 4 conditional. And when the if clause is in past perfect tense, the main clause is, we have to use would have and third form in the main clause. You must have studied conditional sentences. All 6 conditional sentences have different structures, and this is the type 4 conditional. How do we recognize whether a conditional is type 4 or type 3, type 2? With the if clause. So when the if clause is in past perfect tense, it is type 4 conditional, and in type 4 conditional the main clause must be would have plus third form. So as we can see, the if clause is in past perfect tense, but if we see the main clause, I had allowed them to go home for a day. I had allowed them to go for a day. So this is our if clause, which is in past perfect, and the second clause must have would have plus third form. But instead of using would have, this sentence has had plus third form. So you have to remove had and replace it with would have. Okay, so you have to remove had and replace it with would have. So the correct sentence would be, had they worked hard, I would have allowed them to go home for a day. So in place of had, you had to write would have, right? Clear? Am I clear? Did you get the error in this sentence? Okay, let's see the next question. When you will call me, I will tell you my plan. When you will call me, I will tell you my plan. Now, what is the error in this sentence? When you will call me, I will tell you my plan. Now see, here we have when, okay, and this is a subordinate conjunction, okay. When is a subordinate conjunction, and a subordinate conjunction is never followed by will or shall, that is future tense, okay. A subordinate conjunction is never followed by will or shall, which is future tense, right? So will or shall after subordinate conjunction is wrong. So in this sentence you have to remove will, okay. But one thing I would like to clear, that when is both a subordinate conjunction and a relative adverb. Okay, now this is something very important. This is something very important. When is not only a subordinate conjunction but also a relative adverb. Now, does this make any difference? Does this make any difference? When being a subordinate conjunction or being a relative adverb makes any difference? Yes, it does. It definitely makes a difference. And what is that? When, if subordinate conjunction will never be followed by will or shall, okay. Being a subordinate conjunction, when is never followed by will or shall, but being a relative adverb, it can be followed by will. Okay, it can be followed by will or shall, right? So if the word when is a subordinate conjunction in a sentence, it should never be followed by will or shall. But if the word when is a relative adverb in any sentence, it can be followed by will or shall. Now the question is, how can we recognize whether the word when is subordinate conjunction or it is a relative adverb? So the very simple trick is if a sentence is a complete clause, and what does complete clause means? A set of subject, verb and object. A set of subject, verb and object means a complete clause. So if the word when is after a complete clause, it is a conjunction. It is a conjunction, right? And if there is object missing in a clause and in place of object, see here we have subject, then verb, then object. But if in a sentence verb is directly followed by when, like when is there in place of object. So if when is there in place of object, it is not a conjunction, because the function of a conjunction is to join, to connect two sentences. But here clause is not completed, clause has not completed yet. So in place of object we have written when. So when the word when comes in place of object, it is relative adverb. It is relative adverb. Let me give you one example. let me give you one example. I know when you will come back. I know when you will come back. This is example 1. And I will call you when you will come back. So see, both have similar set of words, when you will come back and when you will come back. Both are absolutely same, when you will come back and when you will come back. But in this sentence, as you can see, we have a subject, then we have a verb, but in place of object we have when. So this when is relative adverb, and since this when is relative adverb, future tense is absolutely correct. So in this sentence there is no error. In this sentence there is no error. But as we can see in the second sentence, we have a subject, then we have helping verb, then we have a verb and an object. So we have subject, verb and object. So this is a complete clause. This is a complete clause, and since this clause is complete, the word when here is a subordinate conjunction, and since this is subordinate conjunction, you cannot use future tense, that is will, in the sentence. So this is wrong. This means this sentence has error. So this is something that you have to keep in mind. Otherwise, whenever you will see the word when, you will remove will. So read the sentence carefully, whether the word will used in a sentence is a relative adverb or it is a subordinate conjunction. The future tense will only be removed if the word when is subordinate conjunction. If it is a relative adverb, then you can use will or shall, right? I hope this is clear. Okay. Now, the next question. Was she I? She wouldn't allow you to go out and watch movies. Was she I? She would not allow you to go and watch movies. What is the error in this sentence? See, this is a conditional sentence. This is a conditional sentence. Okay. So in conditional sentences, was cannot be used. Okay. In conditional sentences, was cannot be used. Were is the only option with all subjects. Okay. In a normal sentence, in a normal structure, we use both was and were. Was, the word was is used with I, he, she, it, and the word were is used with you, we and they. But if the sentence is conditional, were is the only option for all the subjects. You cannot use was in a conditional sentence. So as we can see, this is a conditional sentence. Now how do we know this is a conditional sentence? Because this sentence has a second clause which is called the main clause, and as you can see there is would. Okay, so this is a conditional sentence, and in conditional sentence you cannot use was with any subject, whether the subject is I, he, she, it, you, we, they, whatever the subject is, you have to use were. So in place of was, you have to use were. Were she I, she would not allow you to go out and watch movies. Okay? Clear? If you have any doubt, please ask me. Okay, let's see the next question. This is the first time that I see such an interesting movie. What is the error in this sentence? This is the first time that I see such an interesting movie. Please tell me the answer. Okay, so this is a very simple rule. Whenever a sentence starts with this is the first time, or it can be first or second, so on, or last. Okay, so this is the first or second, so on, or last time, the tense would be present perfect. Present perfect. And if there is was in place of is, the tense would be past perfect. Okay, so the rule is that whenever you see this is the first time, second time, third time, or last time in a sentence, the tense would always be present perfect. And if there is was in place of is, the tense would be past perfect. The tense will remain perfect. Okay, tense will remain perfect. Now present or past depends on the helping verb. If the helping verb is, that is present, the tense would be present perfect, and if the helping verb is was, the tense would be past perfect, right? So in this sentence we have this is the first time. Okay, this is the first time, so the tense should be present perfect. So in place of I see, we have to use I have seen. Okay, I have seen. Clear? These are very simple rules of tense and conditionals. I have taught tense and conditional in detail in my JCA class, which was on Exampur channel, and the mode of explanation was Hindi in that class. But here in this English medium channel, I am teaching in English for English medium students. So if anyone is interested in watching these lectures in Hindi, you should go on the Exampur channel. Complete playlist of tense, conditionals and verb is there. You can watch my videos, right? But due to some reason that class has been discontinued there, and I'll be taking lectures for JCA English grammar on this channel. Now next, whenever he comes here, he bring many gifts for me. Okay, spot the error in this sentence. Spot the error in this sentence. Can you spot the error in this sentence? Whenever he comes, he bring many gifts for me. See, in this sentence, whenever refers to a habitual or routine action. Okay, the word whenever refers to a habitual or a routine action, and a habitual action and a routine action is referred by a present indefinite tense. So here he comes is present indefinite, which is absolutely correct, right? So the word whenever refers to habitual or routine action, and a habitual and routine action refers to present indefinite tense. So after whenever we have he comes, which is absolutely correct. It is in present indefinite tense. And a habitual action or routine action is followed by two clauses, and both the clauses must be present indefinite, right? So the word whenever is followed by two clauses, and both the clauses must be in present indefinite tense. So here this is absolutely correct. But if we read further, here we have he bring many gifts for me. He bring. Now after he, she, it or any singular name, we have to use fifth form of verb. And what is fifth form of verb? A form of verb with s or es is the fifth form, which is singular form. Okay, so in place of bring, we have to write brings, because of the subject he. Okay, next question. Nowadays he teaches English because the teacher of English has gone for a month's leave. Okay, what is the error in this sentence? See, this phrase nowadays or these days, if any action is happening nowadays or these days, it means the action is not permanent. It is for a time being, for a definite time, right? So nowadays or these days means a temporary action. Okay, an action which is not going to happen every day or always. It refers to a temporary action, and a temporary action means continuous tense. So because of nowadays and these days, this sentence must be in continuous tense. So in place of teaches, we have to use he is teaching. Okay, in place of he teaches, we have to use is teaching. Shravani, you said 4. What is the error in 4? Tell me, I'll clear your doubt. If you think that fourth part has an error, let me know what do you think the error is in the fourth part, so that I may clear your doubt. You answered option 4, part 4. It means you find something wrong in the part 4. So if you think that something is wrong in the part 4, please let me know so that I may clear your doubt. Shravani. Months. Okay, see, this months has apostrophe s. Okay, so a month's leave means leave for 1 month. So you can write this way also. So this is correct, there is no error in it. Okay, now next question. It is high time you are starting this business, said Ram to Mahesh. Now this is also a very easy question. This is a fixed rule that you should remember. Memorize this rule, memorize these rules. Okay, these simple rules. See, whenever you see it is high time, like it is time or it is high time or it is about time, whenever you see these phrases, whenever a sentence starts with it is time, it is high time or it is about time, the tense would be past indefinite. The tense would be past indefinite, that is subject and second form of verb. So whenever a sentence starts with it is time, it is high time or it is about time, the tense would be past indefinite, that is subject and second form. So in this sentence, as you can see, the tense is present continuous. You are starting, this is present continuous. But due to this phrase it is high time, you have to change the tense from present continuous to past indefinite. So remove are and change starting into started. So the tense would be past indefinite. It is high time you started this business, said Ram to Mahesh. Okay. Next question. I will let you know as soon as I'll get any news in this regard. Now, what is the error in this sentence? What is the error in this sentence? Yes, I am waiting for your answers, guys. I am waiting for your answers. Kajal, Yojna, Shavani, I am waiting for your answers. Sahdev Prasad, I will Sahdev Prasad, I will getting. No, that's not the right answer. See, let me tell you something. Subordinate conjunctions are never followed by future tense, right? Subordinate conjunctions are never followed by future tense. Okay, and what is future tense? Will, shall. Okay, subordinate conjunctions are never followed by future tense, which is will or shall. And what are subordinate conjunctions? What are subordinate conjunctions? After, before, till, until, unless, provided that, as soon as, in case, on condition that, if, when, while. All these are subordinate conjunction, And what is the rule? That a subordinate conjunction can never be followed by future tense, right? So whether it is after or before, till, until, unless, provided that, as soon as, in case, on condition that, if, when, while, all these are subordinate conjunctions, and subordinate conjunctions are never followed by future tense. So as we can see in this sentence, we have a main clause, I will let you know, this is absolutely correct. Then we have as soon as, which is a subordinate conjunction, and a subordinate conjunction is never followed by future. So after this phrase we cannot use will. So the sentence would be, I will let you know as soon as I get any news in this regard. Okay. Shivani Poliparthi actually. I guess the correct pronunciation of your name is Shravani Poliparthi. Am I right? Okay. Next question. If you had seen me, you should stop your car to help me. What is the error in this sentence? I just explained this rule in the question number 1. Okay. So you must know the answer of this question. Okay. So as we can see that if clause is past perfect. Okay. If clause is past perfect, and if clause is past perfect, it should always be followed by would have or should have or could have or might have, right? If clause is past perfect, it should only be followed by either of the four phrases: would have, should have, could have, or might have, followed by third form. Okay. So in this sentence, as you can see, if clause is in past perfect tense, and if clause is past perfect, it should be followed by, it should have been followed by should have plus third form, but it is followed by should have plus first form. So in place of stop, we have to write have stopped. Okay. So any of these four phrases has to be used if the if clause is in past perfect tense. Okay. Now next question. If he would have done this, he would have done wrong and would have deceived many of his relatives. Okay, what should be the answer? What is the error in this sentence? Tell me if you can spot it. Ravani, A. Right. See, I just told you in the previous question that a subordinate conjunction is never followed by will or shall, and would is also past form of will. So if clause is never followed by would. If clause is never followed by would. So you have to remove would. Now the main clause is in perfect form. Would have plus third form is perfect form, and of course it is past perfect. So according to the main clause, if clause should also be used in past perfect tense. So you have to remove would and change have into had. So the sentence would be, if he had done this, he would have done wrong. Okay, so the error lies in the first part, if he had done wrong. Yes, Sravani, you are absolutely right. Okay, question number 11. If I was you, I would not tolerate him. Very easy. I have just explained this rule in a previous question. In conditional sentence, we cannot use was, we have to use were with all subjects, all types of subject, whether it is I, he, she, it, we, whatever the subject is, we have to use were in conditional sentences. Suppose she does not agree, what could we do? What could we do? Spot the error in this sentence. Suppose she does not agree, what could we do? Yojana. Sravani. What is the error in second part, Sivani? Whenever you tell me the answer, do write what is the error. Don't just write the part. Okay? Because if you say the error lies in second part, how can I understand that what error is there in the second part? Can. Okay, Sravani, very good. Kajal. So this sentence is in present tense. This sentence is in present tense. Suppose, and remember one thing, suppose is equivalent to if. Okay, if any sentence starts with supposing if, so if any sentence starts with supposing if, in that sentence you will have to remove supposing, because supposing and if have same meaning, so you cannot write both the words together. Okay, so suppose means if, so this is an if clause, and if an if clause is in present indefinite tense, you cannot use past words like would, could, might. So you have to replace could with can. You have to replace could with can. Okay. Now the next sentence, had he invited me, I would attend the function. Had he invited me, I would attend the function. What is the error in this sentence? See, this is if clause, and in if clause you can see we have past perfect tense. Okay, we can write this clause this way too: if he had invited me. Okay, so both the structures are correct. You can write this way or this way. Okay, either of the ways can be used. So this is past perfect, and as we have already seen that a past perfect if clause is always followed by would have, could have, should have, or might have. So here would is there, you just need to replace attend with have attended. Okay, in place of attend you have to write have attended, would have attended. Okay, now the next question: since he came to Delhi, he did not gone to London to continue his further studies. Okay, spot the error in this sentence. Yojna Sravani said go, Kajal Kumari said go. See, in this sentence, this partition should be here. Okay, this is the second part. Okay, this is the second part. In this sentence, you have to change, you don't need to change gone. It is absolutely correct. Okay, you just need to change did. Okay, you have to replace did with he has gone. Okay, he has gone. So gone is already there, has not gone. Let me tell you this rule. Let me tell you this rule. If a sentence has since followed by past indefinite tense, okay, if any sentence has since followed by past indefinite tense, the other clause would be in present perfect, right? So there are two things that you have to keep in mind, that if a sentence has since followed by past indefinite tense, the other clause will be in present perfect tense, right? And one more thing you have to keep in mind, that since is never followed by perfect tense. Since is never followed by perfect tense. It is always followed by past indefinite. And if there is since followed by past indefinite tense in any sentence, the other clause will always be in perfect tense, and that too in present perfect tense. For example, since I saw him, he has not come to meet me, right? So in this sentence we have since followed by past indefinite tense. That's why the other clause is in present perfect tense. Okay, and it can also be in present perfect continuous. Okay, present perfect or present perfect or present perfect continuous. Right? So if a sentence has since followed by past indefinite tense, which is the only case. Why am I saying only case? Because since can never be followed by perfect tense. Since is always followed by past indefinite. It is the only case with since. So if since is followed by past indefinite tense in any sentence, the other clause will be in present perfect or present perfect continuous tense. So in this sentence, as you can see, since is followed by past indefinite tense, so the other tense should be in present perfect or present perfect continuous. So did has to be changed into has not and gone. Okay, got my point? Is this rule clear or you have any doubt? Clear? Sravani, Yojana, Kajol, everyone? Right. Now, this is the last question for today's class. Rest of the questions we will see tomorrow. This is the last question. By the time you will, now just see one thing, by the time, this phrase means when. Okay, by the time, this phrase is synonymous to when. Now see the question. Now read the question. If you will keep in mind that by the time means when, you will get the answer very easily. Okay, now tell me what is the answer. See, by the time, as I told you, by the time means when, and when is a subordinate conjunction, and since it is subordinate conjunction, it cannot be followed by will, so remove will. Okay, okay, now listen to me carefully. This was the last question. In the next class we will continue solving tense and conditionals. After completing this class, after this class has completed, I want your feedbacks. Write down your comments in the comment section whether you find this class helpful or not. Only if this class is useful, only if you find my lecture helpful, I'll continue this class, otherwise I will not continue, because there is no point in continuing something if it is not helpful for students. So do let me know if this class is helpful. I am trying to be as simple as I can, because many students are from non-English background, from Hindi background, and even the students who are from English medium are not very efficient in understanding English as a medium of explanation. That's why I am trying to keep myself very simple and very clear, so that even a Hindi medium student may understand the rules. Okay, I am not speaking very difficult English. I am trying to speak as simple as I can. The only motive of my speaking very simple language, using very simple words, is just to make even a Hindi medium student understand the rules. So because I was taking the same class on Hindi medium channel, now I have been shifted to English medium channel. Now many of my students who were attending this class in the Hindi medium channel must be disappointed. So I am trying to be as simple as I can even while speaking English, so that all the students may be understand this lecture. Okay, okay, so see you in the next class. Till then, goodbye. And one more thing, right after 20 minutes, at 2:20 p.m. every day. We have a vocab session. Okay, at 2:20 p.m. every day, right after completing this class, after 20 minutes. Okay, after 20 minutes of this class at 2:20 p.m. every day, we'll have a vocab session starting from today. So do join that session. It will be very helpful for you. Okay, so see you at 2:20. Till then, goodbye.